what you're talking about. Happy St. Valentine's Day to everyone, especially the Take Two family. You guys are amazing. And this on St. Valentine's Day, wow, it's just a beautiful day to show what? Love. That's right. And how do you show love? That's the question we're asking today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani, and I really do expect you to not get started with your Valentine's Day plans yet, and the weekend plans yet. I need your help. I want you to weigh in on this. We're going to talk about the 5 love languages. If you don't know them, I'll remind you of them. They're words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. So how do you show love? We really are interested, and we want to hear from you. It's super simple to call in. You're going to speak to Matt Gabinski. He's going to speak with you for a little bit. He'll wish you a happy St. Valentine's Day, and then he'll put you on hold. You get to listen live, and you'll slip right into the discussion on how you show love. Now, maybe your love language is words of affirmation, and you have a spouse that doesn't do that, doesn't meet those needs in that love language area. And so maybe they are acts of service, and that's how they show love. We can talk about that as well. That's a different angle to this. It's very important we discuss this because a lot of people starting tonight and this weekend will be celebrating Valentine's Day. Okay. And so let's really talk about love in a very unique way. Like we do it the Take Two way, right? So if you're listening right now, we consider you part of the Take Two family. And I'm waving to everybody on YouTube, Facebook, all the social medias. You guys are awesome. I love the chats. Thank you to our producer, Michael McCall, making us sound crystal clear. That's wonderful. Matt's on the phones, like I just shared. And Rich is on social media. We'll pick up the comments there on how do you show love. Maybe you're not feeling any love, and that's a problem too. So let's talk about it. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. My husband surprised me this morning with flowers and candy. It was really sweet. His love language is acts of service. And mine apparently is words of affirmation. So he doesn't really fulfill that, but he believes he's showing a ton of love in acts of service. So, it's an interesting dynamic, and you've got to work through a lot of things. And I think it's important that we talk about it. The 5 love languages was made popular by Dr. Gary Chapman, the book. And so people use that as kind of an understanding, a foundational approach to how people show their love in relationships. And so I'd love to hear from you. Do you think that's just a ridiculous thing to go by? Do you think it works? Do you think it's necessary to be reminded of it from time to time? But on this St. Valentine's Day, let's really dive deep with all the many aspects of how we show love. Now, tomorrow on The Spirit World with Adam Blythe, that's the show that I get to co-host on the weekends, The Spirit World, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's produced by the Guadalupe Radio Network and heard all over the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network. And we get to take calls as well. Today we're taking calls. Tomorrow we're taking calls. And we're going to be discussing the many facets of love and how we can reflect God in the world by the way we show up as love to each other. So it's going to be very interesting. 2 little bit different conversations, but this one is really about how do you show love. And by the look of the phone lines right now, they're wide open. It sounds like you're started your weekend. I feel it. You started your Valentine's Day weekend. Maybe some of you you've packed and you've headed to the airport and you're ready to go away for the weekend. That's wonderful. We hope you have just a fabulous time, and we pray that it's just a memorable, beautiful time with those cherished people that you love. But if you're driving in the car and you can pull over safely to the side of the road, I do need your participation, because Take Two is where the lay faithful come together. We share our lived experiences, and we really learn and grow in this very brief hour we get to spend with one another. So it is important we show up in a big way. And it is important that we try to reach as many souls as possible every time we broadcast. And so that requires you to step up. You are the catechists. You are the leaders here. I'm kind of like a facilitator. I add a little thing. I know I add things from time to time, but I really want to hear from you. 833-288-EWTN. There goes the phone lines. That's the way to do it. 833-288-3986. So today's saints are Saints Cyril and Methodius. And Cyril and Methodius are the saints for today. I know it's Saint Valentine's Day as well, so we will talk about that, and that's why we're focusing on love. But I wanted to we try to mention the saints of the day, and so it's important that we learn about the lives of the saints. And now more than ever, I think in the crazy world we live in, let's really pull from the saints to understand what it means to walk in holiness, to walk back to God, to be united with God. I think the saints offer us just a beautiful path. And there are role models, there are cheerleaders, and I'm sure they're feeling the love today on this St. Valentine's Day. So it's a great day. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to show love. It's a great day to talk about love. If you agree with that, then please call in and share what you want to share about what you want to spread, I should say. Share and spread the news about what love really means. Now, we know God is love, right? So what does that mean for us as Catholic Christians when we go out there in the world? We're the hands and feet, right, of God. And so what does that mean? We're out there in the world. How do we show up as Christ to one another? How do we present that love? How do we receive love? Some people have a really difficult time receiving love. Let's talk about that as well. 833-288-3986. That's the number to call. Please fill those last open phone lines, and let's talk about how do you show love. We can talk about the 5 love languages, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And mine, just to let you know, is words of affirmation. I really thrive when my husband says very nice, complimentary things about me. That makes me, it just makes me happy. And that works for me. He likes acts of service. That's how he shows love. And that's wonderful. It's beautiful. That's why I got flowers and candy this morning. And he cleaned up the kitchen. So there you go. It's St. Valentine's Day. It's a great day to talk about love. Please join us.
Your favorite EWTN radio programs are all over social media. All your favorite programs are available right now. Check us out on Instagram. Just search for EWTN Radio. Remember, EWTN is everywhere.
The most original Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
On EWTN News in Depth, birthright citizenship is caught in a legal battle. Expert analysis and personal stories from a Catholic perspective. Plus, the Order of Love, how U.S. politics put an early church father's teaching in the spotlight.
Join us for EWTN News in Depth this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on EWTN Radio and Television.
This is Debbie Georgiani. If you missed part of today's show, catch the encore tonight at midnight Eastern or anytime at EWTN Podcast Central. Visit us at EWTN.com/radio/podcasts.
He is honored by the Church as a saint and the first diocesan priest to be declared a doctor of the Church.
Matthew Bunson and the Doctors of the Church.
St. John of Avila was known to his contemporaries as a spiritual master, and he served as a guide to some of the greatest saints of the 1500s. He also called for true reform in the Church and was a role model for the priesthood even today. He died in 1569.
To find out more, visit EWTN.com and click on Catholicism.
How do you show love on this St. Valentine's Day? Would you call us and tell us? We're going to get to Teresa in Cleveland, Ohio in just a moment. She didn't get started with her Valentine's weekend yet, so we're so proud of her that she showed up strong to lead the conversation. So Teresa, hang on. Don't go anywhere. I want to give the number a couple more times so that you can call in right now and tell us how you share love. 833 did I say share love? Yes. How you share love, how you show love. 833-288-EWTN, 3986. So giving gifts, acts of service, those kinds of things, that's what my husband feels is his way of showing love. And it's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful. But I really like words of affirmation. I don't think we have enough of that in this world. That's just my personal opinion. But I'd love to hear what the Take Two family says about that. Before we get to Teresa, let me just share about this booklet, Mother Angelica's Way of the Cross. Each of the stations shown in this beautiful prayer booklet are pictures of the actual stations that Rita Rizzo used to pray in front of St. Anthony Church in Ohio before she entered the monastery. Mother Angelica was an evangelist of the Stations of the Cross, a devotion that helped to guide her through the joys and struggles of her vocation. On one occasion, Father Joseph Mary, as a young friar, stopped to talk to Mother about something that was troubling him. She gave him the advice that she gave to so many. Make the stations a daily devotion. So if you want this booklet, I'd get it right now at EWTNRC.com. There's free standard shipping on online orders of $75 or more. Standard shipping applies to the continental U.S. only. Use code FREE at checkout. Okay, guys, you're getting started with your weekend. You cannot go on that Valentine's dinner and all those celebrations or Valentine's lunch or weekend or whatever you're doing yet. Would you please call in and tell the world how you show love? 833-288-3986. Let's get to Teresa, who's going to lead us in this discussion on love. She's from Cleveland, Ohio, on the iCatholic radio app. Hi, Teresa. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I just have a comment. I just wanted to say that, and even you alluded to it, that, we all have a love language, but we have to express our love language to our spouse or significant other in their love language. So, somebody could be doing dishes for you all day long, and that's not your love language, so you won't feel their love as deeply as you would as if they are speaking your love language, which for you is the words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. And so it's important to know what your love language is so that your spouse will know how to love you better. Mm-hmm. But you also need to know theirs because you will be speaking to them in their love language where they'll receive it better.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question, Teresa. What do you do if your spouse constantly says, I am showing you love. This is the way I show love. I can't do it the way you want me to do it with words of affirmation because it doesn't come natural to me.
Well, it's a practice thing, so it is uncomfortable, but we've said it many times where you have to step out of your comfort zone in order for you to grow, and over time it will become more natural because you will react differently when you hear those words, rather than, candy and flowers are nice and you appreciate that, but you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings by saying, I'd rather have something nice said to me, but you could say, this is wonderful, thank you for it. But at another time, talk about what really makes you feel loved. And you could even ask your husband, even though if you know what his love language is, you could say, well, what makes you feel most loved? And they'll tell you, and then you could, catalog that in your mind. And even if you don't like doing it, like buying gifts or something, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can just go out and get a card or, something else.
No, I agree with you. So I'm totally, outing myself here in my relationship with my husband, but it's St. Valentine's Day and he can take it. So, my husband is a man of few words. He doesn't, when he says something, he's very intentional about it. It's very, it's very wise when he shares things. And so one year for my birthday, he said, what would you like for your birthday? Do you want to go somewhere? Do you want some gift? Do you want something? And I said, here's what I really want. I want you to get a blank card and I want you to write in the card. Like, don't buy one that has all the, standard greetings on it, just a blank card. And he did. It was beautiful. This poor man, he struggled for so long to write a couple sentences. Now, it was beautiful what he had put down in that card, and I still have it. It's actually within reach right in my desk drawer. I love it. But he struggled, and then I felt bad doing that. Should I have felt bad, Teresa?
I don't think so, because I think he is growing because he has to look deep within, because that's a challenge for him to write down those words. You know he feels it, but you need to hear it.
Exactly.
Right? Or see it on paper.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I still have it. I still have it 5 years from, it's been 5 years ago he did it. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah. So you think I did the right thing.
But that might be a way for you to bring it up, just say, hey, we had this conversation on the radio, and somebody said, one of the callers said that, we should ask each other what makes us feel the most love from each other. Exactly. And he might say something to you that might make, you'd be surprised, and then you'd be like, oh, I guess I'll do that next time he wants.
Right.
I want to show him that I love him.
Yeah, definitely. And Teresa, if I have any problems, he knows where to reach you in Cleveland, Ohio. So if you get a call from Marty, that's my husband. No, but he's got a great sense of humor, so it's all good. But Teresa, thank you so much. You are a wonderful soul, and happy St. Valentine's Day to you. I hope you experience lots of love today.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. God bless you. Okay, Teresa's going to free that phone line, giving some great advice here, getting our conversation started about how do we show love? How do you show love? 833-288-3986. That's the number. Let's go to Lorraine. Lorraine's in North Dakota on Real Presence Radio. Hi, Lorraine. Thanks for waiting and welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Good to talk to you again.
Yes, thank you.
I got just a couple different ideas, I guess. One was I was visiting with my priest, who's my spiritual advisor, and I said one of my goals for this year was to, try and love myself better. And I didn't really know how that was going to be, and it didn't seem like quite the right words or the goal. But then he said, after some other conversation, and he says, the saints ask God to show them his love for them. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. So I've been asking God every once in a while. I said, just show me your love after I got my morning prayers done. And I don't have any expectations about how or when or if it's going to show up. I just know God will do that because God stands by himself. And there's been just neat little things that, I've encountered, and I go, oh, God, thank you for that. You just showed me how you love me. And lots of times it's through others, a change in their disposition or something thoughtful they did or a thoughtful comment they probably didn't even realize they made. Or really enjoying sunsets and sunrises in nature or learning something new about nature, about God. And the other thing I wanted to share today was how my husband loved me this morning for Valentine's Day. We've been married 50 years last October, and over the years I've been unable to eat flour, and I should be eating less sugar, so I'm really cutting back in those areas. That cuts the candies and the cookies enjoyment. And, flowers he has given me and chocolates and different things like that in other years. But this year, we always get each other a card that expresses what we want to say. And so he bought me yogurt this year.
Oh.
And he says, I know you like this yogurt, or you like to eat yogurt. And he got me the kind that I prefer. And he says, plus it's got little red things in it. It was strawberry yogurt.
Oh,
so I thought that was so sweet.
Oh,
yeah.
That's sweet. So the red for love, right?
Right, yeah. The red for love.
I love it.
Day.
Lorraine, what's your? Can you give us? I have the prayer book out. I put Teresa in. Can you give us your husband's first name? I want to put you in as a couple.
Oh, Larry.
Larry. Okay. Oh, L and L. I love that. You must have had fun with that. 2 L's. That's really cool. Okay, so Lorraine, real quickly, I just wanted to share in 50 years. Wow. Can you now, today is a day that everybody's talking about love, experiencing love, practicing love. Any advice for being married 50 years?
Oh, any advice for being married 50 years? Keep at it. Be willing to say, I'm sorry. Be willing to look at things a different way. My way isn't always the only way there is. Mm-hmm. And definitely ask God what's his way, and then be willing to walk it.
I love that. I love it. Lorraine, you are awesome. I have to tell you, as you were talking, I hope my brother Michael is listening. And he's my not just my brother in Christ. He's actually my brother. He was 6 years older than me in the line of my family. And my brother does exactly what you do now with asking God to show how much he loves us, right? My brother does that on a regular daily basis. And Lorraine, he has had the most miraculous encounters I have ever seen in anyone's life. It's unbelievable. And he does exactly that. And sometimes I'll be on the phone with him and something will happen and he'll actually just blurt out, he'll go, God, you're so amazing. Thank you for showing me how much you love me. It's so beautiful. And I love,
my goodness.
Yeah, I love how you said that because it reminds me of how he practices that on a daily basis. And the interesting thing, Lorraine, is my brother's never disappointed. Every day he finds something of God and the love of God somewhere or in someone. It's really quite beautiful. So, Lorraine, I hope he's listening. He'll probably be texting me soon saying, I love Lorraine. I could talk to her forever. So there you go. But I hope you have a beautiful St. Valentine's Day, and God bless you for calling in. We want the participation. We need the wisdom from our Take Two family, and you stepped up. So thank you, Lorraine. Okay, I'm going to get to Mary in Ohio in just a moment. I really want to encourage you right now, if you feel prompted by the Spirit, if you feel that little tug in your spirit and you're thinking, I have something to say, okay, this is your platform. This is your opportunity, and this is your time. If you say, I'm too busy, I got to go shop for gifts for my spouse, or, get ready for tonight's dinner plans or whatever, we're going to miss out. And souls are really tuning in. Believe me when I tell you this. Michael McCall, our producer, he will attest to this, that souls are tuning in to Take Two, and it's quite miraculous what's happening through the radio airwaves. God is using the radio airwaves to reach each and every one of us right now during this really crazy time in life where sometimes the world is just really difficult. But God is using this medium to reach us and hit us deeply into our souls. And people are tuning in, and you can make a difference today. Wouldn't that be beautiful to go into the weekend knowing that your call made a difference in somebody else's life? So if you want to share how you show love, how you receive love, if you have any tips on love, if you have any, wisdom nuggets you want to impart about St. Valentine's Day, do it now. Don't hesitate. We're very friendly. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. We're going to say hi to Mary. Mary's in Minster, Ohio on the EWTN app. Hello, Mary.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi. Where is Minster, Ohio? I'm just curious.
It's just north of Dayton.
Oh, north of Dayton. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, I love Dayton, Ohio. Okay, yeah. So, Mary, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, my husband loved Valentine's Day, and our kids, every Valentine's Day, he had a little chocolate or some little gift for each one, and me included. And it was great because they always knew, he said it was a chance to tell them he loved them, and so that was great. Well, he passed away 6 years ago of cancer, but on our tombstone, it has our last name going across it, but above our name, it says, we really loved each other. And I thought, I have 30 grandchildren, very young, all of them young, and they will never know their grandfather, but I thought, I asked, his name was Casey, I asked him, I said, can I write that above our name? And he says, yes, because we really do. And I thought on Valentine's Day, when I've been thinking about him all day, I'd share that with you because you'd love that, because it really is great now that it's been 6 years. The ones that are like I say, they're all under 14 years old, these 30 kids, and they all see they really loved each other. And it's a gift. It's a gift that I could give them to know that we really did. How about that?
Well, Mary, I got to tell you, I'm glad we're going to break in a minute because I'm a mess. I'm an absolute emotional mess. So I believe you said your husband's name is Casey, and he passed 6 years ago. And on the headstone, it says, we really loved each other, so that the grandkids, and I'm sure the great grandkids and more children after that will be able to see how these wonderful parents and grandparents and great grandparents eventually loved each other. Wow. Mary, home run of a call. You're amazing. I put you in the book. I've got to dry these tears. I got to get a Kleenex, and we're going to take that break. When we come back, more of your calls about how we show love on this Saint Valentine's Day. Please dial in.
Hi, I'm Greg Willits from RosaryArmy.com.
And I'm Jennifer Willits, his wife.
Have you ever felt called to do something tangible to grow in your faith and share it with others?
Making, praying, and giving away all twine-knotted rosaries, the Rosary Army Way, is a simple yet profound way to answer that call.
By making an all-twine knotted rosary, you engage in a meditative act of creation, reflecting on each knot as you tie it, while considering the mysteries of faith.
Praying the rosary opens your heart to the stories of Christ's life and his mother Mary, helping you to draw closer to God through contemplation.
And in giving them away, you share a beautiful physical token of faith that can comfort, inspire, and even transform someone's spiritual life.
To get started with a free all twine knotted rosary, to learn how to make, pray, and give them away yourself, visit rosaryarmy.com.
Is something stopping you from becoming a Catholic? I'm here to help. This is Dr. David Anders. Join me this afternoon, 2 Eastern, for Call to Communion on EWTN Radio.
The wisdom of Mother Angelica.
You know, I have a very hard time sometimes, and I'm so frustrated. I mean, frustrated. Somebody says, how'd you do all this, Mother? I say, I didn't. And they look at me, The Lord did it. God does everything. Without me, he said, you do nothing.
For more information on Mother Angelica, visit Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com.
24/7 Catholic Radio, this is EWTN.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. You don't have to be a woman to enjoy Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Okay, we're asking the question today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. How do you show love on this St. Valentine's Day? And Mary from Minster, Ohio, boy, oh boy, the Kleenex didn't work. I'm still emotionally a mess and touched by this. And so are the amazing Take Two family members that show up each and every broadcast. Mary, you really touched everybody's hearts with Casey's and your beautiful marriage and love and legacy and life and what you have on the headstone. We really loved each other. That's what you have on the headstone. And I got to tell you, Mary, I think a lot of people are jotting it down. I did, because I'm going to talk to Marty right after the show and say, we need to get something like this on our headstone. I think it's pretty amazing. So God bless you for being just an amazing couple and being open to life and having this beautiful legacy on earth with the 30 grandchildren. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, must be an expensive Christmas. I'm just going to say that. Okay, 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. How do you show love? Words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, physical touch. I mean, the whole 5 love languages. Maybe you have a few of those, and maybe you do all of those. But it's interesting to talk about this beautiful topic because I think that in this world, we don't share enough like this from the heart. The heart's a beautiful thing when we go heart to heart, soul to soul. Please weigh in on this. Don't sit this out. 833 288-3986. Okay, we're going to go to Janet in Buffalo, New York, listening on our friends at the Station of the Cross. Hi, Janet. Welcome.
Hi. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. To you as well. I'm an emotional mess. I just will tell you. Did you catch Mary's call? Isn't that beautiful?
Well, yes. You know what? That is. And I thought, I can put that on my headstone with my husband. I love him. And he loves me.
Oh.
We really love each other. And the kids see it.
That's beautiful. What's your husband? Can you give us your husband's name?
My husband's name is Matthew.
Matthew. I love it. It means a gift. It means a gift of God.
He is. He really, really is.
Yeah. I love the name Matthew.
Anyways,
go ahead. You go right ahead.
I will. I was just listening, and then, if the Holy Spirit's putting it on you, and I go, oh, Valentine's Day. And then God just whispered a memory in my mind. Many years ago, my children's father and I were not together. And he had the money, and he was a gift giver. And let's go out to eat, with no thought. It's just his character. That's what he does. It's very easy for him to do. And I was struggling. I was a single mom and trying to meet bills. And every day was a struggle, but I had God always carrying us through. And so Valentine's Day, he must have picked them up after school, took them out to eat, and got them whatever. And I thought they're taken care of. And then they came home and they said, Mom, happy Valentine's Day. And I said, happy Valentine's Day to you. And they looked at me and they're like, they maybe were like 12 and 14 and still, young enough, but whatever. And they said, Mom, where's our Valentine's? And I said, well, you went with Daddy and you had a great time. And they both looked at me and they said, knowing that I was the one who could provide nothing, and I always gave them something so tiny, but they said, yours is the one that means something.
Okay, keep going.
I have nothing, Debbie. And I really thought they're taken care of.
Yeah.
Their father gave, and what they were seeking was the love of that moment.
That's
and
right.
No matter how small, it was just a symbol of, they knew it was a struggle for me. They knew it was hard.
Yeah.
But it meant more because, that's very Christ-like, so simple. It's not grandeur.
Right. Well, but Janet, they tapped into a mother's heart. And because you're a mom, a mother's heart is, that's why I share this so many times when I'm doing Take Two. It doesn't matter how old your mother is when they pass. When a mother goes, it is like, wow, it just hits you so hard. And my mother was 90 and it just was like, oh my goodness, she's gone, because it's a mother's, there's something so unique about it. And there's a beauty and uniqueness of a father's love, but a mother's love is you almost can't describe it. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, and I was surprised. I mean, I was a tired mommy, and I had worked all day and thought they were cared for, but it wasn't the gift, it wasn't the dinner, it wasn't that they were seeking. It was my love.
Yeah. That is, wow.
In the most simple way, no matter how small.
Yep. Beautiful. And that's what it's all about. That's why we do programs like this, so we can learn and grow and really go deeper and of what it really means to live life and to live life to the fullest, the way Jesus intended for us. And this is the kinds of discussions we need to hear. Janet, you're awesome. Happy St. Valentine's Day to you.
You also. God's blessings.
Thank you. Back at you. I love the Take Two family. You guys are amazing. Okay, please jump on that open phone line there and share with us how you show love and receive love. Like Janet was sharing beautiful calls today. Mary, we're still getting messages coming in that everybody's going to be putting on their headstone. We really loved each other. So you're going to see a lot of that, Mary. And you started it with this call today about you and your wonderful husband, Casey. So, wow. Janet, in North Carolina, you're listening on Divine Mercy Radio. Welcome to Take Two. Hello, Janet. Are you with us?
Oh, hello.
Hello. Go
yes,
right ahead.
Yeah. Hi, I loved just tuned into your program here, and I loved hearing all the comments. It's beautiful, and the comments about the lovely inscription on the headstone. And then I thought, well, I should call in and mention that at our church we have a stone wall, and there were bricks that you could buy for in memory of, or mostly they just have names on them, or in memory of someone, or. And I thought, well, we have to put something special on here. What could we put? And so I decided on the quote from Scripture that says, "We love because He first loved us." Wow. So sorry, I'm a crier, but
me too.
I always try to keep that in mind, and we try to keep that, as a focus with each other, our love for one another, and also for others, for other people, and the reason for that love and the origin for that love, which is, Jesus, who, of course, made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us. And also, I know that we often think of love in good times and happy times, but my husband and I met when we were in our 40s on Catholic Match. God took a long time to bring us together, and we thought, that would just be, of course, wonderful and everything once we found, that special person. But in the last years or so, I've suffered from much chronic illness and not able to work as a nurse anymore and everything. And I think it's in especially the most difficult times of our life, and in suffering and in trials, when you truly see the love between you and the love that your spouse has for you, and the love that comes from just standing by each other, supporting each other, lifting each other up, and just being there for one another in that barren desert, of trials and difficulties, as well as in the good times, and good times and bad.
Yeah. Okay. So I have to share a couple things, but I'm trying to hold it together because less than a month ago I had eye surgery, and they say that tears are good, but I don't know if this many tears are good, because I'm having a hard time even seeing through the tears. But Janet, let me ask you a couple things. First, do you feel comfortable giving us your husband's first name?
Wayne.
Okay. First of all, I love the fact that you met. I love that you met on Catholic Match. I think, as a matter of fact, Michael, our producer, Michael's listening right now. Michael, let's make a note of this. Let's do a program in April. We have March almost filled, the calendar. Let's do a program in April. So Janet, you'll have to keep listening on folks that have met through a dating, online dating. So Catholic Match. I'd love to do a program on that. So Michael's going to make a note of it, Janet. So thank you so much for inspiring that topic. Okay. So you and Wayne, and you talked about being a nurse. Okay. This is where it really got me. And let me just share this. I put everything out there on Take Two. I don't hold anything back. Everybody says, Debbie, you don't have a filter. I don't. And the older I get, Janet, I have zero filter. Okay. But let me share something with you, Janet. If you listen to the program on a regular basis, you know that I have said this many times. I believe nurses are going to get a high place in heaven. Because of your ability, yes. Well, hold on a second. Because of your ability to give and to take care of those who are in need when they're the most vulnerable. Okay? I believe that. The good now, not all, I know that in every profession you have some that aren't in it for the right reasons. I know that. But I'm talking if you're really in it for the right reasons. I think nurses are amazing. You guys have been so great in how you care for those that are so scared and vulnerable and just helpless. And you're right there to be that strength, that Christ-like strength for that person when they are down. I know, because just like I said, less than a month ago, I had surgery, and the nurses again were the ones that helped me through it. So I want to say thank you for what you have done for so many people. That's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I want to say is the interesting thing about nurses is that when they are on the receiving end of that, now you're talking about the beauty of your husband having to step up because of your situation, and then he stepped up, and you're now on the receiving end of that care and that comfort. And that kind of, it sometimes can be hard for people who are nurses who are always giving to receive. But the beauty of what you have is the insight. Okay, so you have the insight to realize, you have the grasp and the aspect and the understanding to be able to tap into that and say, wow, this is true love. What he's doing for me now is true love. I couldn't agree with you more. And like, I just wanted to share one more time, and this show is not about me. It's about the Take Two family. But you said something, Janet, that's sparking a really strong feeling inside of me. When I was almost completely blind at the end of last year, and my husband did the same thing for me. And I told my husband after I got through this, I said, if I gain my sight back, okay, I promise you that I will always remember what you did for me. And so it sounds like that's the gratitude that's coming from your heart. Did I hear it correctly?
Yes, exactly. Because I definitely, there have been hundreds of days and times where I have not been the ideal patient at all. I've not been the person that I needed to be or wanted to be. And he just has still been there for me through the most difficult times, the most difficult, days of not having the faith I should, of lacking in hope, in despairing at times, just utter despair. And he's just been there with strength, with faith, with trust, with lifting me up, with bearing with anything I hurl at him that he didn't deserve. And that, I think, is true love. That's how you know that you're with the person that God truly meant you to be with, and how
Absolutely.
You are truly helping each other get to heaven, and in your vocation.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
The holy matrimony, the sacrament of matrimony, with the, Jerry likes to say this, when those times happen like that, you're describing, Janet, it's that Jerry likes to say their sacrament is showing. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Hey,
yeah.
Janet,
many.
Janet, I got to tell you something. This is supposed to be a happy day. You and I are crying on worldwide radio show.
That's
I mean, this is hilarious. Okay, we need to get back to celebration mode and be excited to take on the Valentine's Day weekend. Janet, you're awesome.
Well,
I think
it is exciting because we experience the love of God, the love of neighbor, the love of spouse, the love of body of Christ. Like it is a cause for celebration when you're a believer, and when you're strong in the Catholic faith, and when you just experience that great love from many different places, from a priest, like from all over.
Yeah, you're right. And I go back to Lorraine's call. I don't know if you caught Lorraine's call because you might have been talking to Matt. But Lorraine was talking about how to ask God every day, God, how, show me the love. How am I loved, and show that. And God shows up. He's so beautiful. So I agree with you. We are it's tears of joy. It's beautiful. It's love. And we're spreading that love today. Janet, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Happy St. Valentine's Day to you. And
Happy St. Valentine's Day. And St. Cyril and Methodius, pray for us.
Yes, pray for us, and tell Wayne too. He's a keeper. Okay.
Yes, I certainly will.
All right. God bless you. Okay, we're going to get to Grace in Los Angeles, California in just a moment. I have to share with our listeners, and I'm sorry, you guys, the Kleenex is gone. There's no more, and I'm going to have to just hold it together until the end of the show. So bear with me on video. Hello, everybody, all the chats. Happy St. Valentine's Day to all the social media groups. You guys are great. But I want to share about Podcast Central, the Rome Boys. Another great podcast on EWTN's Podcast Central is Rome Boys. Tony, the theologian, Chris, the entrepreneur, and Joe, the farmer, take a topic and discuss it from 3 different perspectives. They're real, they're bold, and they're Catholic. You can hear this and other faith-filled podcasts at EWTN Podcast Central. All you have to do is visit EWTN.com/radio and click on Podcast Central today. Okay, we're going to get to Grace in just a moment. She's calling back. She just dropped for a second. When she's calling back, we're going to just stall for a little bit and until Matt gets her on air with us. And we want to greet her properly. And this was a fabulous, fabulous episode. Share this episode with others. We believe it's a good use of social media and to understand God's love, to understand the love we have for each other, to understand the love we should experience ourselves. It's beautiful. Love is good. Love is kind. Love is patient. You know the scripture verses. Let's hear what Grace has to say in Los Angeles. I'm waving to you, Grace, on YouTube. Thanks for calling back. Go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just kind of wanted to do a little shout out to people who might be triggered by Valentine's Day. You know, people who had bad experiences or maybe some very negative memories of things that happened, you know, in past relationships or as a child even. I was sharing with your screener that we started a ministry at our church for divorce healing. Mm-hmm. And what we found was around Valentine's Day, there was a lot of triggers that were going on. People just, you know, they just wanted to like crawl in a hole on Valentine's Day and not hear anything about what other people were doing or how other people were celebrating. And so we made a special effort to just try and remind them that, you know, God is love and we can celebrate love even if we're not in a particularly special relationship because we are in relationship with God, and that, you know, we can still celebrate love and in ways that are meaningful to us, even though we aren't in a relationship. So we did little things like we wrote Valentines to each other, and we just, you know, made a special effort that day to smile at, you know, people that you passed in the grocery store, or maybe hold the door for someone to let them walk in ahead of you, or put somebody ahead of you in the grocery store line. You know, just little things to show love. Mm-hmm. And it really is consistent with what your previous caller, I think her name was Lorraine, had said, you know, to just ask for God to show you love that day. And what we found was that if you put a little bit of love out there, just the kindness, people would reflect that. And if they didn't, you know, that's probably because they had something else going on in their lives, but that's okay.
Right.
You know, so
right.
So just wanted to give a little shout out to those people who might be triggered. It's not like a hopeless day. If mm-hmm. you remind yourself that God is love, then you can still be love to others.
Yeah.
To show love to others.
Amen to that, Grace. Grace, I just want to say thank you for taking on that ministry to serve those who have gone through a divorce or a separation. That's a big ministry you're working in, and thank you very, very much. I thought I dried up the tears, but now it's starting again because you tapped into another area of my heart, and you're spot on. When I went through a divorce many years ago, you're right. Valentine's Day was horrible. Any you know, celebration day, any day that showed any kind of love at that level was very painful, very emotionally painful. I couldn't agree with you more. But I remember one time coming out of confession after Father gave me the penance. I came out of confession and he asked me to meditate on the crucifix. I remember this vividly. And I thought to myself, what do you mean meditate on the crucifix? He said, I want you to go out into the church, sit down in the pew, and just stare at the crucifix. It was hanging from the top of the center of the church. He said, I want you to stare at it and then keep staring at it. Do not stop staring at it until you start to feel again. And I sat there for many, it seemed like forever, Grace. And I'm like, this isn't working. And then all of a sudden I felt the love. I felt it. And I was like, wow, I can feel again. I can feel the love again. And I was at peace, and I could experience that love again without feeling the pain, that was associated with betrayal and, having a broken relationship. And then now I've moved on to the Holy Face devotion, which is, in my opinion, is a spiritual game changer. And I agree with you. When we go out there into the world and we show love, receive love, it just keeps spreading. Love is beautiful in the most purest way. And Grace, I think you're living up to your name by doing this ministry. And I just want to wish for you and pray for you. I put you in the book and all the folks that you minister with for many blessings, because you're doing a great work out there. I have to let you know that that's a beautiful work, and I'm sure you don't get thanked enough. So I'll thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Debbie. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Happy St. Valentine's Day.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you, Grace. You're awesome. Okay, that was a beautiful call by Grace, and that will actually probably end this episode, because we're getting down to when our wonderful producer will cue the closing music. Let me just share a couple things. I want to remind you at the beginning of the show, I shared with you that tomorrow is the Spirit World. We're going to continue this this conversation about love, but we're going to talk about the many facets of love, okay? God's love in many degrees, many, if you want to say levels, but how beautiful it is and how it shines and how it reflects back, how it radiates God's love, how it shows and expresses God in the world. We're going to talk about that tomorrow on the Spirit World. That's 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, and that's produced by Guadalupe Radio Network and heard on the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network. And we are taking calls tomorrow. So if you want to think more about this topic and weigh in tomorrow, we'd love to receive your call. Again, I'm getting a lot of comments about, I shared the love languages. I believe some people haven't, the book has been out for many, many years, but it's the 5 love languages, and it's by Dr. Gary Chapman. And it's an interesting book that got everybody started in this direction of exploring the different love languages that we show and receive. And just to give you an idea, the 5 love languages again are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Now, you can have 1 and 2, or all. You may need all of them. You may only need one of them. You may show all of them. You may only show one of them. The idea is you're not locked into a certain area, but it's something that you feel most comfortable doing. But like our callers and some of those that have commented on YouTube have said, you can learn and grow. You don't have to get stuck in a certain area, and you can only show love this way. No, love is very big, and I'll tell you, if you've ever had more than one child, okay, you'll realize that love expands. Love expands. It's interesting. When I had my first child, I thought I'm never going to be able to love another child the way I love this one. And sure enough, when the second child came, his name is Matthew, a gift of God. I thought, wow, my love is just expanding, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So don't put limits on love. Love is incredible. There's the music. Again, the show team, Michael, Matt, and Rich, we all want to wish you a happy St. Valentine's Day. And thank you so much for showing your love every single weekday with Take Two. You, the Take Two family, you're incredible. And we love you so very, very much and pray for you each and every day. Thank you to the affiliates that carry this show live. You're doing such a great work for your listeners. And that'll do it. Okay, now you can get started with your Valentine's Day plans. Until Monday, have a beautiful and blessed weekend. We'll see you real soon.
Want some more peace in your life? Need some more grace in your day?